Hello and welcome to this very special exhibition on the history of Repton School in England. My name is Paul Stevens and I am the archivist at the school. Many of the objects you will see displayed are from our large collection of artefacts, which reflect over 460 years of the school being on this site, and include such treasures as uniforms, diaries and photographs, which help to bring its long and colourful history to life. I could probably talk for many hours about everything that has happened in this wonderful place, but I thought it would be best if I just gave you a short overview of its history and how it fits in with some of the objects in this exhibition. Those of you who have seen or visited Repton School in England will know that it has many fascinating and important historical buildings. The site which we are built on was famous for many centuries before the school was even established. In the 7th century, this was the capital of the region, and an abbey and royal buildings stood here until an invading Viking army destroyed them all. In the 12th century, another Christian institution, a priory, was built next to the ruins of the abbey, but this too was later destroyed in the time of King Henry VIII. Not all of it was knocked down, however, and the medieval gatehouse, walls and guest house escaped. We should be thankful for that, as in 1557, a local knight and Member of Parliament, Sir John Port, left money in his will for a school to be set up somewhere in the area, and the men overseeing his will saw the remaining buildings on the site and bought them for the very reasonable sum of £37. The old guest house became the school, the gatehouse became the arch, and the priory walls became the perimeter of this new educational establishment. You will see in the exhibition a number of framed pictures of some of these ancient and important buildings, many of which are now over 860 years old. You will also see a picture of Sir John Port himself, the founder of this school. This picture is in fact a brass rubbing of his tomb in the church of Etwall, a couple of miles from Repton. Although it is quite worn, it is still possible to make out the kneeling figure of Sir John Port, deep in prayer, and next to him his wife. The school he founded opened its doors to pupils in June 1559 in this very building and rapidly gained a good reputation, with a steady flow of boys from all around the country coming to stay and to study. For the first few hundred years of its existence, 5 influential families governed the school. In the exhibition you will see a copy of a hereditary chart which connects some of those families to the present Queen of the United Kingdom, Elizabeth II. This chart was presented to the Queen when she visited the school in 1957, on the very special occasion of our 400th anniversary. I've spoken about Sir John Port, the school's founder, but an equally important figure in our history is a headmaster from the mid-19th century called Dr. Pears. He was a keen reformer and introduced some much-needed changes to the school, which set it on the path to becoming the institution we see today. In recognition of his achievements, he is sometimes referred to as the school's second founder, and our school hall, Pears School, is named in his honour. You will see in this exhibition copies of beautifully illustrated pages from a handmade book which the boys gave to him on his retirement. These evocative watercolours of the school, contained in a carved walnut cover, are one of my favourite treasures from the archives. Repton flourished from his time onwards and attained an international reputation as one of the top schools in England. It produced many outstanding and gifted pupils, 2 of whom, C.B. Fry and Basil Rathbone, appear on the old honours boards in this exhibition. Basil Rathbone was an actor who made over 70 films, with perhaps his most notable role being that of Sherlock Holmes the detective. C.B. Fry was one of the finest cricketers in the world, as well as being a first-rate sportsman, teacher, writer and academic. The short inscription on his grave here at Repton sums up his life very well. It simply says, C.B. Fry, the ultimate all-rounder. You can find out more about famous old Reptonians and the long history of the school in the collection of books in this exhibition. Do please feel free to browse through them at your leisure. The historical tours I give for visitors to Repton can sometimes last a few hours, and even then I'm only just skimming the surface. It's almost impossible to summarise such a rich and colourful history, but I trust that the items and books on display here give you a small glimpse into the treasures of its heritage, and I do hope that they encourage you to learn more about it for yourself.